J. J says J. J says J. Every letter makes a sound. J says J. K. K says K. K says K. Every letter makes a sound. K says K. L. L says oo. L says oo. Every letter makes a sound. L says oo. M. M says M says Every letter makes a sound. M says N. N says N says Every letter makes a sound. N says O. O says O. And O says O. Every letter makes a sound. O says O. And O. P. P says P. P says P. Every letter makes a sound. P says P. Q. Q says Qu. Q says Qu. Every letter makes a sound. Q says Qu. O. O says O says Every letter makes a sound. O says S. S says S says Every letter makes a sound. S says T. T says T says Every letter makes a sound. T says U. U says U. And U says Every letter makes a sound. U says U. And V. V says V says Every letter makes a sound. V says W. W says W. W says W. Every letter makes a sound. W says W. X. X says X. X says X. Every letter makes a sound. X says X. B. B says B. Y. Y says Y. And Y